Hello, my fellow denizens, and those of you who wandered in randomly because it popped up either next to your previous video or you saw in your recommended menu, and of course, those of you who are my subscribers. I'm Hellcat360 on Minecraft, Hataki Rayan on YouTube, and Rose Tora on DeviantArt, as well as Rayan Autumn King on fanfiction, for those of you who followed my links. And welcome to the podcast. My boyfriend, who a lot of you know is Briar the Wolf, for my birthday this year, is taking me to SakuraCon. It's a cosplay anime convention thing down in Seattle. Now you might say, wait, does that mean you're in Washington somewhere? Yeah, I'm on the western side of the mountains. The opposite side of TT. She's on the east side. I'm up in the northwest part of Washington. I'm not quite sure where she is in Washington. But, yeah. So, Briar's taking me down to SakuraCon, and we've both been trying to figure out what my costume will be for cosplaying. I didn't want to do anything real big or something that would cost a lot of money because I have $1 to my name, maybe. Needless to say, we racked our brains. And I finally came up with the idea to get a wig and be myself. I am going to cosplay as Hellcat360. And granted, probably no one will know who I am because, well, I don't do face cams because I am not that comfortable with my face. I'm fine with my voice, but I'm not comfortable with my face being seen, so sorry guys. That's another thing. But anyway, I was originally going to get a really cool looking wig that looks perfect. It's perfect. It goes perfectly with, Hellcat's design, you know, her basic design, which is the red hair that goes down into yellow. Unfortunately, we couldn't come up with the money for it. So, we went to a costume store and we got a plain blue wig to be for like my winter or angry mode. And I'd really love to make it so it looks like my normal one, but I don't know how. I'm not that skilled with wigs. Heck, this is my first time going to be wearing one. If I didn't want to put my hair through the stress, I'd just get my hair done, but I don't want to, so c'est la vie. Before we finally decided on Hellcat360 for me, I was actually thinking about being Natasha, aka Black Widow from the Marvel series. We were going to kind of go with, during Captain America, to the, Winter Soldier, when she's most of the time in disguise. So, if we had to, we could have just used my natural hair, which is blonde. Or I could have actually dyed my hair. I'm actually okay with dyeing my hair normal colors, like red. That's usually my go-to color. And my hair actually tends to come out about that color and looks really nice. Probably because I'm Scottish and Irish. Way back there in the gene pool. But, anyway. And we were just gonna, like, maybe at the most get me a brown sweatshirt. At the most. And the way I actually came to Hellcat 360 was I was actually looking to see if I could find wigs, because Natasha's hair is shorter than mine. Mine is actually almost past my butt. So that wouldn't exactly work, and no matter what I do, my hair can't hold a curl, even if it's wet when I curl it. Because I'm also part Native American, and most Native Americans have straight hair, and I have that straight hair. You're lucky if you can get it to hold a curl for more than an hour, which is typically about how long my curls last, unless I am being really stubborn about it and trying really hard not to mess with my hair. Excuse me. Which actually is kind of like this weird boredom habit I have. I'll play with my hair, I'll flick it, sometimes I'll even chew on it. Depends on how bored I am or if I'm thinking. That's another thing. Yeah. But anyways, going to SakuraCon, I'm super excited, and SakuraCon is actually happening on my birthday. And if you guys want to do anything for my birthday on the server, like drop off gifts at my house or something, my birthday is March 25th, so if you guys want to say drop off a horse that I still haven't gotten by that time, you could hunt up the horse or breed the horse and jump it over the fence and drop it off. I don't care. And just leave like a little note in the I can talk. I swear I can talk. In my mailbox that I have set up actually in front of my new house that I hope you've all seen on DeviantArt. It's set up so you could drop something off there if you wanted. But so for that weekend, I probably won't be on until Sunday night, maybe. Gimme. And so you won't be seeing me until then. Excuse me, I did get a drink of my soda. But anyway, that is my big news and a little announcement for anyone that wants to give me gifts of diamonds, emeralds, whatever you feel like giving me, as long as it's useful. And yeah, you can even do art if you want for me. Since I've only gotten one piece of artwork for my video contest, my video image contest, I am actually thinking about canceling it. I don't know. And if I have enough fun at my first cosplay convention, and if I get a real nice picture, I might decide to use it for at least a profile picture, maybe. Yeah. Again, this is one of those times I'm running off script. Normally, I'll just write everything out, and so I don't have these random spurts of blah. Anyway, I've made a couple of new images in Mitomator. That's fun. I'm actually thinking about playing it while I'm sitting here doing something and just kind of have it be like the boredom thing. I'll just randomly talk while I'm doing something, and I think I actually might do that. Smart person would probably have something to entertain you people so you can watch, but hey, I'm not that smart. Oh, another game I play Sims 3. I recently got Sims Pets, so I've been playing that. About this time last week or the week before, I was playing it, and I have a family that I'm calling the Horses Rule. Pretty much, I play mostly with the horses. I totally ignore the sim, except when I need the sim to come do something for the horses, like brush them, clean them, feed them, clean their stall. But, anyway, I was playing, and I had my two starter horses, who I had mate and give me a baby. And then I adopted a second horse and had my male horse mate with that one, get another baby. And I had actually just adopted another foal foal to kind of play with them and have mate with one of them, because they both ended up boys. And I was bouncing between all of the adults to try and get them all happy, because for some reason they weren't happy, even though 5 minutes before I got the last foal, they were all fine. And then I was sitting here trying to get I was working on my male's health and mood and stuff, and they all got taken away, so I rage quit it for like 2 weeks. And so I found this cheat that actually made it so I could kind of control their mood a little better, so I could just play, because my main goal was to try and see how many horses I could get bred. And I was trying to go for a theme. I was kind of go with a Harlequin theme, black, white, and red. Kind of like Harley Quinn from Batman, but you get the gist. So I created these beautiful coat colors that was perfect, and all of my horses that I had on that game taken away. Thankfully, I hadn't saved, so I just quit. And then when I came back, it was pretty much a fresh game, and I just played it with the new cheat that I have figured out that made it so if I clicked on the mailbox, I could fix it so their moods would never change, and I could make them all happy, and they would never, ever get depressed. And it so far has been useful. And then last night I got to the sim limit, so I aged up my 2 adopted horses, even though I wanted them to mate so I could get another horse that wasn't related to my 2 foals that I made, because I realized I probably can't get them to breed together, even though I want them to breed together. So next time I might just make 4, or make a couple of females and then adopt males. Anyway. Anyway, that has been what my week has been up to. I know the news was really late last week. I was so busy. I was trying to do a bunch of stuff, and the internet was like a pain in the butt, excuse me. Yawn and makes you cuss, apparently. But anyway, and I just couldn't get it done, and I still had to get my last Let's Build posted, and yeah. I know that my videos are kind of been slow and jerky and stuff. I've been trying to think of other things I could do, and you want to know something? I want you guys to tell me. I want you to fill me in, give me ideas. I want to try and make my channel more appealing. If I have to make a totally new YouTube account and just solely dedicate it to Minecraft, let me know, and I will make that happen. If it will make it easier for you all to pay attention to my videos and get everything boosted up, I'll do it. And all that. So, I have a new image in the works. I'm kind of doing a couple... Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. But anyway, this image is... I'm hoping for it to be kind of like my... I'm going to upload it and then insert it into my commissions journal. And it'll just be kind of like the greeting card, I guess you could call it. And it's really cool. I made it in Minimator. It has horses and a couple of dogs. If I had the patience for animating it, I'd love to animate it. And how about this? If anybody out there is really good with Minecraft Minimators or animating Minecraft things, talk to me. I can give you the link. I can give you the image, and I will send you, and I can send you the coats that I use If you need something, I can give it to you, and you can try. And you can try and recreate it and make it animated, because I think that would be really cool, and I might use that to make my own like commercial if I do make my Minecraft solely Minecraft YouTube account. And I really I want to get more involved with the community. I want you all to talk to me. I want you to give me ideas. I want ideas on what to build in Shady Heights, what I can do to keep you entertained. If you guys want me to do a let's play, try and stick to survival and not die, excuse me, I'll do it. I seriously need something. I need help. I'm running out of ideas. That's one of my problems. It happens to me a lot when I'm writing. If anyone has visited my fanfiction account, my fanfiction, a couple of my older fanfictions that I've not even close to completing, mostly because I kept getting hate reviews, so that kind of put me down, so I would leave the story for a while. And then finally, the computer I was writing it on died, and I couldn't continue it. A couple of them, which would be Mind Games and Love Like a Rose, I actually still want to work on those, but I don't want to try and pick up where I left off, because I left off writing them way ahead of where I left off uploading the chapters onto fanfiction. And I want to keep writing them, but my old laptop died on me, so I need to get the money to recover the files so I can try and continue those, because I want to at least finish Mind Games. Whether or not I create a sequel after it, I don't know. I don't care. I want to finish Mind Games. I just want Mind Games to finish, because Mind Games, it's my outside opinion, but my character gives an outside opinion and look at the Avengers movie. And it was just kind of one of those what ifs that occurred to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to write this. I am going to do this. And it just, I've gotten a lot of crap for writing it. I've had reviews that were threatening me. I've had reviews that were just downright mean, and I could never fathom why they were being so mean. I mean, it's a fan fiction. It is my view. I was trying to keep my character as un-Mary Sue as possible, but at the same time make it clear that she is an outside force observing everything that's going on. And also display my headcanon for it. And I was getting all this crap about it. And I was trying to combine both Stan Lee's mythology for Thor and Loki, while also incorporating actual Norse mythology into it to, for example, Sefnir, Odin's eight-legged horse. According to Norse legend, there was this frost giant that was disguised as a construction worker, and he had this big old horse, and the Asgardians were trying to build a wall to protect Asgard, and he came and he offered to build the wall within a year in exchange for the goddess of love, Freya, or Frisia. It depends on the spelling. Anyway, Odin agreed, thinking there's no way he'll finish it by the year, and then the builder threw in, but I am allowed to use my horse. And they thought, the horse won't be that much of a big a difference. Yeah, the horse made it so he was almost finished with the build. By the end of the year, only had maybe about a half a mile to go. and he was going to be completed within a couple of days. So everyone yelled at Loki, who said that he probably wouldn't make it. And with that being said, and him pretty much being threatened and stuff, he decided to lure the horse away the only way that builder was actually managing to complete the wall on time. He lured him away, and unfortunately, he took the form of a in-heat female horse. So, Loki was missing for about a year, because that's about the gestation period of a horse, and he comes back with this gangly little 8-legged horse behind him. And he gave him to Odin as a gift, heavily implying that Loki was the mother of this thing, this horse. And so, when I had my OC bring this up to Loki, he said that actually he found the foal and it had been abandoned, so he had decided to change into the lactating mare, let it nurse, and bring it back to Asgard. And Thor, being Thor and loving to pick on his brother, started teasing him and started passing around the myth to the mortals. And in return, Loki retaliated with that Thor's mounts were 2 goats that he could regenerate, and so he could eat them if he had to. And, it's playful stuff. And then I also brought up Fenrir, who is supposed to actually kill Thor at Ragnarok. And I had that be his daughter's pet wolf, pet dog, whatever you want to call it. And Hel, I actually made his biological daughter. They thought she was born stillborn, because that's actually, according to the myth, they thought she was stillborn, and then after a few days, when they were getting ready to bury her, she was actually crying. So they nursed her and took care of her, and she grew up, and she became the goddess of Hel, or the dead, or Helheim, as it's called, Helheim, depending on how you say it. And the Midgard serpent, don't ask me to try and say the other name, I've never been able to say it, was actually just Loki's pet snake. It was no bigger than a ball python. Excuse me. I'm actually terrified of snakes, so anyone wanting to have a pet snake, I think, is a little... Anyway, but pretty much that's how I tried to mesh the 2 stories of Thor and Loki together. I tried to make it... I kept them brothers from the Stan Lee universe, and I kept events from that universe, but I also brought in events from Norse mythology to kind of bind it together and make them feel a little more touchable, reasonable, more drawn on their Norse counterparts, And I also, something I had my character do, my character is a psychologist. She helps people, but she's not your traditional psychologist. Her home office, because she works out of home, is a sitting room that, yes, it has the chair, it has her chair, the couch, but she has turned the couch into an actual couch, and this room is filled with games, it's filled with all sorts of things to make people comfortable, and it's connected to her kitchen, her personal home kitchen. So she can, excuse me, make treats, get drinks, anything. Her entire goal is to make people feel at home. She makes sure she analyzes them so she can understand what they like and what will make them feel comfortable so they don't look at her as a shrink or a head doctor, but as a person they can turn to, like a family member. In fact, what she likes to call herself is the sister that you don't have. She is the sister that will just sit there and listen. She'll not tease you unless that makes you feel comfortable, and then it'll just be like a gentle joke. Her favorite way of breaking through to people is to cook their favorite food or something that she knows that people like. For example, one of the first meals I have her cook is she's talking with Captain America, aka Steve Rogers, and she just finished reading his file when Fury sends him in to talk with her. And she is making grilled ham and cheese sandwiches, and she has Coca-Cola bottles in the fridge. This is actually a rather common lunch meal in the 1940s. So it is something that Steve is familiar with. It is something that he remembers. It is something that always made him feel good. And Coca-Cola was like the staple of the 1940s. So if you got the Coca-Cola, you're good. And then while she's talking with him, she makes cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and sends him out with a bag full. She talks with Banner, and they sit and they have tea with scones and cookies and biscuits. She sends him out with a bottle of tea and the scones. And then when Loki is brought on, and she goes and observes Fury talking with him right when they put him in the glass cage, and she knows that Fury's approach might not necessarily work. So she goes and asks Thor, what was Loki's favorite meal before he went crazy? And he gives her, it was roasted boar with lamb's quarters, lefse, and wine or mead. Typically wine. I look at Loki as a wine drinker. Makes sense. Thor's more of the mead person, or ale, or anything stronger. Anyway, so she figured she can't get a roasted boar on a freaking helicarrier, but she goes to her fridge and she pulls out a pork roast. Gets that going. Lamb's quarters is actually kind of like spinach and beets, and they are boiled and served like rice or noodles. So she does that, and she makes the lefse, and she had some wine, happened to have some wine, so poured the wine, fed everybody else that came in, and took the tray to Loki and dropped it off. I explained to him that she didn't care about the Tesseract. She doesn't care about the Tesseract. Her goal is to make Loki realize what he is doing is wrong. And her entire goal of this is to make sure he's absolutely comfortable, that he understands she is someone he can trust. Granted, Fury seems to think this won't work because Fury's a military man. He has this mindset that being kind to the enemy isn't necessarily going to get you what you want. But she does. She just has this feeling that something isn't right with Loki. Because I made the part where Loki is on the helicarrier like a couple of days longer than it already was. Because my headcanon is Loki didn't necessarily go crazy because he found out that he wasn't the son of Odin, but of Odin's worst enemy, the king of the frost giants. It was more so when granted that was his descent, but he could have come back from that very easily. But my headcanon is that when he got the staff that had a piece that was like kind of in control of the Tesseract, if you notice, his eyes are glowing bright blue whenever he has that staff. But if you look back to Thor, or if you look forward to Dark World, his eyes don't glow that blue. So my headcanon was that it's more so the Tesseract's messing with his mind. It's telling him that he needs to take over a world to prove that he can be king, that he's worthy of being king, that he can rule. So he picks Earth, what he thinks is a very weak planet, a very weak world. So, and the Tesseract, it has a mind of its own. It wants something else. It pretty much just wants to destroy the world, or corrupt it at least. But as he's away from the staff, he starts to revert back, especially with my character offering him things that he knows, that he likes, that just offering him a shoulder and bringing up something that makes him laugh, the myths and stuff. And then, just as she's about to get him to realize he's doing something wrong, the helicarrier is attacked by Barton. That's pretty much all you're getting for spoilers of it. The rest you'll have to wait and see. But another way I tied in the fact that I think the spear is the problem is on my dead computer, there is a scene where they're in the tower. Loki had just thrown Tony out of the tower and stuff, and she actually picked up the staff to try and detain Loki just to get him to talk. And I had the Tesseract start talking to her, telling her, all you have to do is do this, and you can make him see what's wrong. You can make him understand. You can show him what is wrong with him. And she's very tempted to do it because she wants to save Loki. She wants to help Loki save himself. But she knows that it won't stop there. The Tesseract will make her do it to other people. It will make her abuse the power. So she drops the staff, but it's still kind of connected because it's right there next to her. So what Loki does is he picks up the staff and throws it away, and then gets her out and shoves her into the elevator before grabbing the staff and going to attack. Avengers. Pretty much, I made it so he knows that he's doing something bad. He knows he's doing it wrong. But he knows that he should at least see it through. Because that is Loki's character. Once he has his mindset on something, he has to follow through. For example, if you could really tell that he had realized that trying to destroy Jotunheim was a bad idea, his character is that once he's so focused on doing something that's extremely drastic or anything, he has to follow through. He has to make sure he does it. He has to make sure he does it. It's one of those weird flaws. And it kind of actually comes from Norse mythology, I think. Because Loki himself, granted he's actually evil, technically, in Norse mythology, but he's also the spirit of mischief. As the spirit of mischief, his entire existence is to cause chaos. It is to cause discontent. But when he goes too far, when he knows he's going too far, he has to follow through. This is seen best in the death of Bladar, the son of Odin and Frigg. Bladar has been having nightmares ever since a very young age that he is going to die. He knows he's going to die. As he's getting older and becoming of age, the dreams are becoming much more vivid to the point where he wakes up screaming at night and disturbing all of Asgard. Finally, Odin goes to Hel, who tells him that he may only be saved if all of the things in the worlds promise never to hurt Vladar, that they will never kill him. So Frigg goes around the world asking plants, asking objects, asking people, asking beings, asking animals, please do not ever try and hurt my son. And they all promise, except for one little branch of mistletoe. The reason why the mistletoe didn't promise was because Frigg overlooked it, thinking it's so tiny, it could never hurt him. And so it becomes this great game for all the gods that they could bounce anything off of Vladar, and it would just not hurt him, and it even made him laugh. It made him feel safe. But it was taking attention away from Loki. As we can tell just from the Thor movie, the first Thor movie, Loki is very attention-driven. If he is not giving the right amount of attention, he will do something completely stupid. For example, letting frost giants into the castle while they are at a coronation for his brother. Because the attention is not on him. It's supposed to be on him. Probably his entire goal was he was supposed to go and stop them and be the hero. Hurrah! Instead, they got destroyed by the destroyer, and everyone knows how that turned out. Thor was supposed to be king. He did not view Thor as being worthy of being king because Thor actually kind of punched first, then asked questions. While Loki is more calculating. He would ask the questions first, then start hitting people. But anyway, what the god Loki did was he figured out that the only thing that hadn't been asked was the mistletoe. He didn't really think that it would kill Vladar, but he figured, the worst it'll do is scratch him and it'll scare everybody. He just wanted to play a prank. So he went to a blind god, at the moment I can't recall the name, and asked him why he wasn't throwing anything. He said, I can't see him, so it would technically not be safe. I could hurt someone else. So Loki had this little stick of mistletoe and said, how about this? You can throw this little stick I have, and I will guide your arm and make sure you actually hit your brother. And the blind guard agreed. He didn't see what the harm was. It was just a stick. That's what everyone thought it was. It was just a stick. It wasn't going to do anything. And then it strikes Vladar through the heart, instantly killing him. And everyone is horrified. Loki quickly realizes how bad of an idea it was and quickly leaves the situation. They start to blame the blind god and realize that he had actually been sitting out until Loki offered to guide his hand in throwing the stick. However, the blind god was still feeling very guilty for killing his brother, so he did say he wanted to be punished. In turn, he actually sacrificed himself to try and bring Vladar back. But the other part of the deal was Hel said that everything in the world had to weep for Vladar. And Frigga frantically went around the world asking everything to weep. And everything did, including the mistletoe stick that was used to kill him. Except for one person. A giantess said, I never knew him. I see no reason why I must weep for him. And thus Vladar could not return to the living. the giantess was actually Loki in disguise. And once everyone figured this out, it was pretty much a mad hunt that ended with Loki being tied to a rock with a snake above him, dripping poison down on his face while he was restrained with the entrails of one of his own children. And his only saving grace was his wife was so loyal to him that she stands there every day with a bowl of water, catching the poison to keep it off his face. However, when the bowl is filled, she has to turn away to dump it. In that brief moment, poison is being dripped down on Loki's face, putting him in an extreme pain and for punishment. Anyway, that's my random ramble for the day. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know why it ended up on Avengers and Norse mythology, but it did. This is what happens when I get no questions. Okay, everyone, I'm Hellcat360. And remember, please be kind and